Swing. Yes, sir. So we back here again at the Benefit Podcast. We are sticking with that name, and I am very, very happy about it. Episode 102. You feel me? Allow me to introduce who is in the room. We got Raul to my right, a.k.a.
Poppy blockchain Poppy, either way. Feel me?
You feel me? We're going to write that one down. To my immediate left, we got Eric, a.k.a.
Professor X,
Yeah.
aka Learning Loop Master,
Okay.
aka Blockchain Poppy V2.
Oh! He
Nah,
made
the version.
He made sure he did not forget not one description this time around. You feel me? I'm glad. And across from me, we got our guest for today. Kyrie, please introduce yourself, a.k.a. BKA, whatever they know you as, sir.
Yes, sir. Kyrie X, you know, your auntie's favorite 3D artist. You know, coming back from the West Coast, Jersey born, Brick City, you know. We here with the love. We here with the guys.
Come on now.
Yes, sir.
What up?
All right.
First podcast ever.
Oh, yeah. We cannot
gotta-
forget that one. We cannot forget.
Make sure I look at the sound.
Yeah.
We got a first. We got a first. We got a
Yeah.
couple of firsts today, though. You feel me? We got a couple of firsts today. But before we get into first, this is our second episode. For those of you that can't see what's going on around us, we're going to explain it. We're going to allow you to visualize it through our verbals. So, gentlemen, what are we seeing? Because it's not the same space, and when it releases on YouTube, they're going to be able to tap in. What are we seeing around us?
I think you should explain it.
Yeah, you can start. You can start, Raul.
Okay, so all right. So Raul, we gonna start to my right. We gonna go.
So I know it looks very wild in here, but
Describe wild. What's wild?
we're currently under construction at a waterfront New York City property, and
Did it look as wild as it did last episode?
Nah, we're picking away at something that's gonna be very, very great. So I think people will slowly be like, "Whoa, what's happening?" We'll let them see.
Okay, and we're gonna skip over Kyrie because we're gonna get to you last because you weren't here for the last episode. But Eric, how's it looking in here, my brother? How's it feeling? What does it feel like in here?
It feels like, you know, the foundation's getting sturdier.
Mhm.
Like, we've been digging a deep foundation. You know, I said last podcast, if you want to know how tall a building's gonna be, you look at how deep they dig the foundation.
Mhm.
And, you know, right now, y'all coming along with us on the journey as we build the foundation, you know, for the Web3, for this area. It's a metaphor, but it's also very literal.
Facts. It gets real grimy and gritty the deeper that you dig that foundation, and we're experiencing that real time. However, Kyrie, this is your first time, you feel me, on campus. We like to call this the creative house. Okay, and right now we're gonna kind of gear this episode towards the loading phase. So what do you see? How did it feel like when you pulled up from the West Coast, you feel me, back to the East Coast?
To be honest, I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know what y'all was doing, what was, you know what I mean? So I kind of went in blind, but that's like the best way to approach something like this because you give your full self, your full energy. And I was dealing with a bunch of like personal shit and trauma and shit. So I wanted to have like a clear mind when I came into this space and like be able to give full effort, full energy. And I was like, I don't know, I was kind of happy. It seemed like everybody was like on a mission. Like when you're surrounded by people that are like very engaged, I got to speak into the mic, very engaged with like what they're doing right now presently, I feel like you feed off that energy and like you give more of your own energy because of that.
For sure.
So I was like immediately like, all right, let me get to work. Let me see what the hell is up. Oh, damn. I'm not.
Man, we are here. We
I was
working.
trying not to.
We regular people though, and that's
Yeah.
what we need people to understand. And we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna get to that in a little bit. But to first and foremost acknowledge you being here and say thank you very, very much for pulling up. You feel me? In regards to some upgrades that we have here, we have new stands. You feel me? So you don't even got to worry about them hearing us, bro. We got good equipment. You feel me? It's all labeled. You feel me? So we're not losing a thing. You feel me? I have to paint the picture for them. They gotta understand we got tea on the table.
Yeah.
You feel me? And we also have a salt lamp in the middle, just so if you need to turn on your salt lamp in your room, set the tone, your vibe, whatever you gotta do to rock out with us. So, I do want to ask, what are our backgrounds? We spoke about that last time, and we're gonna start with you, Kyrie. What's your 9 to 5 look like, or what did it look like in the past, as opposed to, you feel me, your 5 to 9 now?
Okay. Yeah, I'll get into it. It's a little bit. I had a very corporate architecture route. I was doing that for a little bit. Pre-pandemic, was getting into I was working like amusement park designing and stuff like that. And then as of lately, the last year or so, I've been doing my 9 to 5 has been like production design prep, working in film, music videos, doing art direction and stuff like that, kind of getting my hands dirty in that, being more physical while also, dabbling into what we're going to talk about today, NFTs and, 3D art. And that's what I've been doing for the last year. Not even trying to, I've been doing for the last year. So
would you consider that your 5 to 9 for those who don't understand that terminology? 9 to 5 is your 9 a.m. to your 5 p.m. You feel me? That's your day job. Then you go home and you start the 5 p.m. to the 9 a.m. You feel me? So what's your 5
to 9?
What's your after hours looking like?
I don't know. I get that, but I don't ever think of it like that. I'll work through the night. I'll have a 5 to 9 or 5 to 9 a.m. Night work time. I never kind of structure my days like that. So it's hard for me to answer that. I definitely.
It's that artist.
Yeah,
it's always going.
I don't ever turn when I turn it off. It's like a set time frames for a couple hours, like a 30-minute rest. It's not like I'm doing this 5 to 9. I'm chilling for that. I'm not a TV watcher. I don't binge stuff. So it's hard for me to think when do I turn it off. I mean, if I'm chilling, if I'm getting some medical in the air, you know what I mean. If I'm with people, I'm going out. That's the time I do that.
Self-care.
Yeah, self-care. Working out and stuff like that. That's all about that. But besides that, it's always supposed to be you should live what you want to do. Pay your bills with your dreams and shit.
Facts. A rest if you must. You feel me? But don't quit type of vibe.
Okay, I like
where I'm going with it.
Yeah.
But hold on. Before we get into anything else, because we're going to dig deep today. And Eric, I'm going to need you to segue and tell me a little bit of, because you was working hand in hand with Kyrie today and over these last, 48 hours earlier this week.
Yeah.
But before then, shout outs to SP in the building, you feel me? SP1 is behind the lens, cinematographing. You heard me, cinematographing.
He made it a verb.
No, I made it up. I definitely made it up. Our cinematographer on the set, I try to make it like an active verb because that's what he's always doing, but he's really just capturing the essence of everything that we're doing. Without that and without these words, you wouldn't be able to see or feel or even almost smell the tea of this experience. You feel me?
Hello.
He's good at what he does.
Hello,
and then
somebody.
Hello somebody.
Hello.
And they can hear us because West T is also in the building. West, my bad, no T. Hold on, I gotta do it again. West,
Take those back.
no T. Send him back out. You feel me? Pow. West, no T, just in case you didn't know, it's a W-E-S. There's no T at the end, but you might think that it's a T, so you feel me? We get it straight. Don't worry, branding is coming soon. We're going to put West in a T. Y'all got that one?
Yeah.
No T. West in a T, no T. They're gonna see. We're gonna put a link of the images. We're working on it. However, let's keep it moving. You feel me? So, before we were in our 9 to 5s, we're in our 5 to 9s. We're transitioning in the lifestyle. Sometimes we quit and we be like, yeah, I'm done with this in the world. What do we create for ourselves? Eric, you talked a little bit about a lot of what you do. You feel me? Just you gave us a little bit about so much of what you do. You remember how it was hard to pinpoint what exactly you do because you used to be a one-man band when it came to this area. How does it feel to have support with somebody who understands what we're building? Tell them what we're building and tell us what it's like working with Kyrie.
Yeah, so what we're building right now is actually the identity, the brand identity for AfroCons. We're building a lot of the art for the projects that we're going to drop coming up soon. And to touch on like what you said about being like a UX team of one, like being the only designer usually on a team of engineers, but also being an engineer is very difficult. So, even SP1 could attest to, the burden of having to fulfill responsibilities that are required to create a better solution. And, working with Kyrie has been fantastic and magical because he is like literally like yin and yang, like in terms of, like we basically live the same lives. So, and, there's a lot we could touch on that, him being both a Taurus, Aquarius, Taurus.
Yeah, we're talking the double signs. When you're a double sign of something, you're like really true. Yeah, and he's
and I'm a Leo, Gemini, which is fire and air, and he's water and earth.
Well, shout outs to all of our listeners that are understanding all of this lingo.
Yeah.
They gotta comment or talk
there's
about.
An audience right now that's gonna be tapped in.
They
tapped in.
I'm locked in.
But also at the same time, with y'all being in this space that's understandable for the two of you, that's like the modern day workspace. You feel me?
Right.
So does that make it easier for us to create the things that we're working on? For example, an NFT.
Because, like, collaboration really, a lot of times is easier to happen in person. Like, I knew I needed to be out here just to get that initial start of working with the team. And, like, just working with Eric was like, all right, yo, he's done stuff that I've been wanting to do. I'm like, yo, if I could, like, do, like, a schooling or I would do, like, a coding type way, but, like, the design side of it. And I was like, damn, like, did that shit. That's fire. Like, I was like, he was telling me he had, like, architectural, like, aspirations of, like, yo, I really wanted to have this, like, structural, like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yo, this is, like, it's crazy. Like I was able to kind of get a reflection with my design right now, and I feel like we have something that like I might get tatted on me later or something like that. Like I very much feel passionate about like what we creating right now. So it's like it's like a cool. Tatted. Yeah, I'm saying
I am getting that tatted. I'm getting that tatted.
We talking about we talking about tats that's permanent.
Yeah, I'm saying like you can't be scared of that commitment. Like this is how you just be in for it. You know what I mean?
All right. So first and foremost, I definitely want us to kind of tie this into everything that we approach from a Sankofa perspective. Normally we get traditionally there were tattoos in our culture that used to be RIP, so on and so forth, family members or faces of family members and things like that. So you feel me? Kind of looking at it on an inverse kind of perspective, tatting things and etching the history, how we're doing it to set a tone and a model for our generations to come. I want to tap in Raul for this because he spoke earlier on this, creating opportunities for our generations to come. Raul, what we're doing right now, how does this provide for you, yours, the people around you? Because you've been here, you've been in the middle. If there's a tornado, Raul's standing in the middle of it, totally at peace like some kind of avatar.
Yeah, I mean, yo, I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. I feel like, yo, there's one of the things I realized is that like you can either like run towards the fire or you can run away from the fire, but something's still gonna be on fire. And often whatever's on fire often is our people. So I think what's happening in this space, and I've been seeing interesting discussions, there's people that are like basically that like bringing black people into the NFT space is not going to be as liberatory as we think it is, because it doesn't change generations of inequity that's already happened, which is 100% true. But like upon further reflection, I was thinking like that doesn't mean that we shouldn't try to prevent the compounding of that inequity across a digital barrier that will like high key be irreversible. And that's kind of like why I like left my corporate job, you know what I'm saying, like pivoted my entire frame of focus and my entire energy towards ensuring that people understand that like this high key the matrix, and we high key need to be understanding of what the consequences are for our digital presence. So I think that it's like, I always think one of the most important parts of history is the 3/5 compromise. Is like one of those places where the law quantifies like the humanity of black people. And I think that like when we think about what's happening, it's like the megabytes,
Mhm.
It's like there'll be a data number that like represents your value, even though it's not actually your value.
Mhm.
And it's like we got to make sure that like however we present that is in the most empowered way. So that's like why I think the big picture, Black people need to be on the blockchain.
For sure. You want to add to that, guy?
No, like this is one thing we had like initially talked about just on one of our first phone calls. And I was like, I really feel like this sphere, like Web3 is how we like break. This is how we break like racial inequality. Like this is how we like stop the curse. Like people talk about where you're gonna leave your legacy, like leave the people behind you. I'm talking about like these digital frames, these NFTs that we're making is how we kind of change the history. Like this is how we rewrite it. Like we're doing it right now and thinking about just everyone's legacy in the room and the different families and different like trauma and different like I don't know like I be getting caught up sometimes thinking about how much goes into what we were gifted in terms of education, opportunity, and just lifestyle versus the people before us. So like how do we change the digital like landscape for the future is the next like big thing we're trying to tackle.
That's very deep. That's very deep. And I also do feel like I want to throw this question out to our listeners, our viewers, our audience. How many jobs do you have to lose before you choose? And then I put 3 dots after that and then a question mark. And then I'll answer it because it's almost a little bit rhetorical. To benefit from this podcast. You feel me? Shameless plug. Yeah. Shameless plug. But I also do think that we're having conversations that really need to be adhered to nowadays. So since we're talking about family, let's talk about something that I speak to my family on. Facebook. A lot of people reach out to me on Facebook, and I feel like I'm disconnected from Facebook, but I'm always in my Instagram. Are we going even too far from the topic? Facebook is today, but they're calling themselves something else tomorrow. Let's talk about today first.
Yeah, Facebook is now the Metaverse.
And he gonna jump right into it. What is a Metaverse, bruv?
So they trademarked the name in the same way, like they brought a name, the Metaverse. Metaverse, from my understanding of it, right, and we're all learning. The space is really new, so I'm learning with y'all. Is a digital world that's immersive, that allows for you to engage with like different representations of like space, and like artists and engineers collaborate in order to form and create this digital world for you to be able to like move through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great definition.
We are upon a consensus of that definition for the Benefit Podcast. I'm gonna shift it your way, Eric, because you are like the directory or the manual or the person who knows where to access the resources for a lot of these things. So Facebook also has a thing called the Oculus. And is that how they access a meta? Is that a fair tool to say that is used to access the metaverse?
It is one tool, and that's
See, that's why we're here with you, because he's going to tell us it's one, and then he's going to make it accessible because there's more. Please tell us.
Yeah, so the metaverse, it can be accessed to the Oculus. That's one medium, right? Like through VR.
What is the Oculus? It's like
the Oculus is wearing a virtual reality headset, for you to be able to kind of experience the digital, like in the physical. Another way is through augmented reality. Think like, the Google glasses, or like Dragon Ball Z. You got like the little
sand,
to read the power levels.
Yeah,
he's too strong.
It's so really the metaverse is a way of thinking about the digital worlds. Every single form is a different world. Twitter is a different world from Facebook. Then it's a different world from Instagram. It's different bubbles. We got bubbles in real life, like college. College is a bubble, and it's the same thing, but now we're just turning towards the digital.
And that college reference is so powerful because that's what this feels like a first week on campus, almost building something remote, or so many different versions of this. It'd be kind of dope if we can, digitize whatever we're in right now, or the first house down the line, and just sell that as like, a dollhouse. Not a dollhouse, but like an NFT'd house that you can walk in. That'd be fire. To see where we started, that'd be dope.
Put yourself in that space.
That'd be OD dope. So let's jump to tomorrow. Meta. What does Meta look like in regards to pioneering for where technology will shape new spaces?
I think meta is something we've seen it before. We've seen it. It's been coming. Like we've seen it in video games. We've seen it in The Sims. You create your own character on 2K in these wrestling games.
Big facts.
We've been prepped for this next phase of technology for a while now. And we're talking about how do we get to flying cars, but we gotta get outside of our own TV screens first. You know what I mean? So this is like the next step. Like you said, with VR, AR, but also just creating new realities for people. Like think about people that have disabilities that can now go to amusement parks and enjoy the full potential of a ride, that can travel around the country and around the world and go to like museums and experience the same thing you love to in the physical, but they're not trapped 10 feet on the snow, you know what I mean? So like you can do this no matter what the conditions are.
And this also helps us in this modern day time, correct? Now that we're more isolated. What I really do want to tap into though is, Raul, I need you to answer this because you are a unique kind of visionary. The metaverse for tomorrow, what does it look like for the average person? What does it look like for me, for my brother, for my sister, for my mom, for my dad, for abuelo, for abuelita? You feel me?
Abuelita.
He just looked out. He said, what does it look like for abuelita? Like, how is it accessible to?
I think that's an interesting question, and that's really being shaped by whether or not we're participating in building the metaverse. I think that the really amazing part is that we can make it look like whatever we want, and that's what I feel like is truly liberating and empowering. Like one of the projects that we're gonna do at AfroCon and we're currently working on is like thinking about what are some historical spaces that we can reconstruct. And it's like we know that there are historians that understand the entire physical architecture of Black Wall Street, like brick by brick.
Wow.
and can describe it to us. So it's like if I wanted to walk down Black Wall Street, if I wanted to walk down
what about Tulsa?
Harlem or Tulsa,
yeah.
right? Or if I wanted to go like even in my own neighborhood, right, in like 2005 before gentrification, really changed Brooklyn, back when there was Caribbean flags on every single window. I think that we can recreate that and we can make it whatever we want. I think that there's a really dope Afrofuturist opportunity for us to envision and really create worlds. And one of the things that I was thinking about when you were talking, Kyrie, about the accessibility of the metaverse is how I have friends that are undocumented that I always want to go on vacation with. And I was like, they can't travel outside of the world. Some of them feel uncomfortable getting on planes, which I completely understand. And it's like the idea of a border, right? Like the sovereignty of being you can't cross this line that we just imagined. In the metaverse, it doesn't exist. So,
okay.
Welcome to the metaverse.
Right. Welcome to the metaverse.
Why aren't you building worlds?
Why aren't you building?
All right, those are some loaded questions for everybody right now. So we have to bring up the literacy first. You feel me? And a part of that literacy begins with why this is all possible. The blockchain technology. Would anybody like to take a whack at it first? Because I don't know if
Everybody looked my way.
I
get the guess.
I can try to be. Okay, let's go.
All right, so if you've been watching the news, you've been seeing McDonald's is making NFTs, Visa's buying into Bitcoin, Sephora is getting NFTs. Like every celebrity you know is having little cartoon JPEGs as their profile pictures, and some 18-year-old black girl, shout outs to her, she just made $20 million off her art collection.
What?
The long naked? Long neck.
Yeah. That's a lot of money.
But this is changing people's futures. People are able to pay off their student loans, pay for their families to have a better future. But the blockchain is what's the easiest way to say it? It's without saying digital money. It's imagine, stocks can be regulated at any point. The government can say, the market's down. Stuff won't be valued as high. Decentralized cryptocurrencies will never have that happen. There's no one that's controlling one specific aspect of any coin. The value is in the people. The value is how much you put into it, how much it's worth, and how much people believe in a certain thing. There's things that get hyped up. We got, shout out to Elon, he got Dogecoin up crazy for some people that were early just, I like Elon, why not? You know what I mean? So those kind of things can happen, but essentially I think it's the currency of the future. Is how we break this racial gap, racial financial gap. I think this is how we start having our money. We have wallets. We have like Apple Pay anyway. You know what I mean? Have a digital wallet anyway. Blockchain will essentially be another card on that wallet at some point.
For sure. I mean,
that wasn't a good definition. Though.
That
wasn't a good definition.
I
think
that was
technical.
That was like a very that was I'd call that a crash course.
Okay.
I call that a crash course and where it can take us. But what you did mention in there, and also what we have on the question list for today, is crypto the future currency of wealth? You feel me? Like it, like and I say currency in regards to like each country has their own currency, but now they're forfeiting their currencies or almost backing and supporting them.
I think so. I think that I can answer the blockchain question and the future question at once.
Okay.
Which is that like in order for you to understand why blockchain is so revolutionary, you need to understand like what decentralization is and like the power of how blockchain technology works. So blockchain basically is like, imagine if you wanted to send a message that once you sent it, you couldn't read it anymore, and you sent it to like 12 people, so that like if for some reason 11 of those times it got deleted, there's always that 12th person. So that's kind of how the blockchain works, is that it sends messages out to a whole bunch of different computers, basically, and that information is stored collectively in a communal way, and not by a central place. So it's not stored by like Google or Facebook. It's like almost like a community stored information, which means that because once it's sent out, it's already in truth in mad of these different places that it's stored, it can never be deleted or erased. So when you think of like cool application and use cases, it's like I was reading on how in Latin America, the blockchain technology is being used to protect the land rights of like indigenous people, because when you write something into the blockchain, you can't delete it or remove it from the truth. So like when governments before would like change the like, the books, it's like now when we put something on the blockchain, it's there forever. It's real. It's like a place of like complete truth.
Birth certificates.
Yeah.
About me, people's last name got changed. Like,
that's fire.
Yo.
That's fire.
Oh
They
my
see,
goodness, that's crazy.
that's what this
That's
space
crazy.
is for, because we're talking about like the evolution of blockchain, and it's evolved so much before people even know what it's about. Like people are still talking about Bitcoin when Bitcoin is almost, it's not archaic, but it's the first. You feel me? There are coins that mine Bitcoin and all of those things, but then there's also Ethereum, which is a bit more power, like more efficient for our environment and in regards to sustainability. But then we also move forward into multiple cryptocurrencies. Like this is a world that is in and of itself. So that's the main purpose of the Benefit podcast is for us to increase the knowledge behind that, so that we can empower the people that are coming up with us, hopefully, and not after us. So Eric, I kind of want you to kind of give us, I mean, I don't want to give it no 30 seconds or no 20 seconds because I don't want to limit it, but let's try and wrap things in regards to the future of cryptocurrency, where we're moving in regards to cryptocurrency, and then we'll end off the episode with our final celebration. Yeah, and balloons didn't drop, but don't worry, the balloons will drop when we get to it. Don't worry. But Eric, what's the future for cryptocurrency look like? Like, what should people be looking at?
So just to kind of build on what Raul and was talking about with the blockchain, the future of cryptocurrency is transforming every single industry. Like no industry won't be touched by what's happening in the Web3 blockchain space. And blockchain, like really, talked about like history and birth certificates. It's NFTs really provide a one of one. It creates digital scarcity. Like something you could copy and paste a JPEG, but like you can't for an NFT because it's always in the ledger. Like you could always see who minted it first. Like if you trademark an idea, like I got to market and I trademark this idea first. If you mint first, that's always there and that can't be reversed. You don't need to go through government like bureaucracy to prove that.
Which brings more money directly to the creators' pockets.
Yes, Web3 is all about giving the creatives and the creators ownership.
Finally. About time. About time.
It's really slow for record labels. It's really slow.
Chill. Don't burn them down yet. Don't burn them down yet. They know it's coming. They know it's coming. You feel me?
Every company is doing it. Please. Like, I don't know.
Don't
Not miss out. This is like revolutionary times.
No.
That's it.
I think
What's
you
up,
know because
Westward?
the team just came to the table because
Yeah.
we're still describing. You feel
Perfect.
me? What's going on here? We're filling up the space with good vibes, and we're gonna end on a high note.
My bad.
Yo, you goody, you goody, you goody.
A little
Here's
bit.
here's what I want us to focus on though. Yo, Kyrie,
Inside.
most recently, maybe within the last 24 hours, you've achieved something, my brother.
Yeah.
Would you like to
Ooh,
share it
tell
with
us.
us? Oh yeah, now it's wait. Now the balloons is dropping. Woo, now everybody.
Yeah. That's
Oh, I wowed out.
Oh, your beads, the beads pop.
The beads broke. I think no. My students used to say. My students used to say that's how true it
So
is.
she don't eat any of that.
Yeah.
shit.
My students
Yeah.
used to say, yeah, Molly is in the building. I forgot to shout her out. SP got her right now. But his beads pop. My students used to say when I was an educator, that's how true it is. You feel me? We're gonna get in. We're gonna get into those. Those look like that's that tiger eye.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're
Big one, too.
all of our audience.
That's
Everyone in the
That
audience,
was
please
live. That was
look
Some
that up
magic.
for a fact.
live?
We all we
I always wanted to say that on the podcast.
well, we all live to them. But,
Just sold my first NFT.
Okay.
Shout out
Yes,
to
sir.
Other Faces, you know what I mean? It's like my start, my foundation for the future of my new cartoon I'm working on too. Never Said I on Camera, and then also my initiatives for the houseless, homeless people. I'm like starting a portable like housing prototype. So
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like it's like a
Wow.
my edifaces help fund that. So it's a
fire.
long legacy, but you got to start somewhere. It's not a race, it's a marathon. You know what I mean? Like I was gassed when I heard that. I was gassed.
As you should be.
I'm kind of pissed about this, but you know.
No. Life comes with highs and lows.
Highs
you
and
feel
lows,
me?
you know, you gotta stay calm.
So here's the
I was
thing,
too
though.
excited
Yeah.
just now.
I need you to just say this. Don't say how much it costs. Don't say
Yeah.
how much it sold for. They don't need to know that because
Yeah.
by the time they tap in, it will sold for way
And I'm
more.
about to raise the prices.
You feel me? Now you gotta up it. Now you gotta up it.
After
But-
that first sale, you're like,
gas fees crazy. I'm gonna raise them.
What form of
Yeah, double them.
cryptocurrency did it sell for?
It's sold in Ethereum.
Okay.
ETH.
E.
Yeah, on OpenSea now. Edifaces NFT.
Spell that.
Okay.
Spell that.
EDIFACE. Not like edifice, like a building, but ediface.
Hello.
Okay.
Buildings with some
I'm
personality.
saying exactly.
Hello.
You know, it's a lot
Come
more. to
on
come, you know
now,
what I
you
mean?
giving
Okay.
away
Yeah.
the
We
juice.
saw that.
My-
We got
Yeah,
research,
yeah.
saw
Let them.
that.
Let's
Okay.
do it.
Research,
Go
do
find.
research.
Go find and collect.
Yeah.
Find and collect.
So I mean, if it,
Within 24 hours, you know what I mean? First.
Yeah.
within 24
Yeah.
hours, so that's how quick the turnaround could
I
be.
dropped Sunday. Yeah. So
Sunday drop today or yesterday
Saturday.
sale.
that's like 24 hours.
Hmm?
36 maybe.
36.
Yeah.
I mean,
48.
Yo, here's
First, the first 48. The first 48.
Yeah, first 48.
First 48.
But here's the
That's
thing about
huge.
the urgency of NFTs. You feel me? Like what we've been hearing about and what you may have heard about in headlines is that this 24-hour, 48 turnaround is real.
Word.
You feel me? It's
Car
something
facts.
that can truly exist.
Car
And
facts.
in Ethereum, we're talking about currency. You feel me? Exchange. So go look up your cryptocurrency exchange to wherever you are from. If it's USD, look that up. If it's the pound, look that up. I promise you, you will be pleased with the exchange rate. Let's end off on some high notes. You feel me? It's episode 102. We have successfely completed our
Yeah.
second episode. Can we get some
Shout out,
snaps? Forget the snaps. Clap.
Yeah,
We
shout out.
yes, sir.
Everyone in the building.
And I would like to say, for my high note, and we're gonna go around, it feels great to say you're in a creative house in a space that we've cultivated ourselves, and it's gonna only continue to get better. So I'm looking forward to that. Would we like to go to Eric first? Would we like to go Raul next? But Kyrie, we're gonna end off on you as a high note. You feel me? So we're gonna give you some time to think. Which one of you gentlemen want to go first? Professor X,
Alright,
it is.
Yeah. So I guess a high note that I'm just tremendously grateful for is, you know, the team that we've built, the tribe. Just having Kyrie here, like really designing the culture, you know, creating the vibes. And yeah, I think the vibes, they continue to get better every single episode. We're going to continue to get better every single time, every single episode. And, you know, you're going to see more and more.
That's all we can do. That's all we can do. Raul?
I think, I think it's all about the people, and it's all about the purpose. And I think when you have the right people and the right purpose, working on the right mission, you get a really great outcome. So it feels good. I'm just excited to have black people in the blockchain because we about to run it up.
Run them for their
They
ETH.
can't steal no more from us. You know?
They can't steal.
They can't do it.
We gonna work with that. Black people on the blockchain.
I think that may already exist. So
Hold on. No.
Yeah,
We
brothers
gonna
on the
fix it. We
blockchain.
gonna figure it out before the episode's over. We about to do now. But
Watch it.
Kyrie,
Trademark
your
that too.
high note. Your high note.
High note was, I'm very happy I can, like, getting ready to go back into this trip, but, like, have met everyone on this team and, like, ended the trip that I thought was going to be real, like, just sorrow and sad on, like, a high note and, like, have a positive energy. So I appreciate y'all bringing that to me. I definitely needed that. So, yeah, I appreciate that. That was a high note. That's real.
Yo, no doubt.
Podcast stuff. That's real.
Yo, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
It's never a problem, bruv. I told you off air. I'm telling you again, welcome home. You feel me? Because the creative space is not an easy space to live in. But we don't choose this life. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because we be hashtag. Y'all ready for this one?
Yeah.
On the block, no chain.
Hello.
Ooh. Okay. Hello, somebody.
Okay.
Whoa.
Check.
Hey.
Whoa.
This thing got
Listen,
dropped
I didn't come up
today.
with it. I didn't come up with it. We came up with it collectively.
Look.
You feel me? But until next time, make sure you comment, subscribe, share, like. You feel me? Talk to us. We're gonna figure out a way for y'all to hit us directly. But until then, if we say you're, make sure you're back. You heard me?
Yeah.